Hello, everyone. Welcome to the roundtable. Sorry for delay, a little technical difficulty. Hopefully, all of which are cleared up. With me today is Admiral Teague. How you doing, Teague?
Hey, what's going on? Happy Pride Month, my friend. The first roundtable of Pride Month. I guess we're proud, right? We're pride. We're proud. We're prideful in the name of
Yeah,
love.
sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Power is
Gorilla.
fluctuating because we had 70 mph winds come through.
Holy crap.
The problem with the 70-mile-an-hour winds is that they're really dangerous, and they're 100. What's worse about them though is that they're 100-kilometer winds. You realize that, Jerm, right?
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Especially
Well,
all that land he has around there.
the 70-mile winds are bad, but the 100-kilometer winds are far worse because they have communist intent.
Exactly. But let's get to the news. I think the most pressing thing is that little disturbance down in LA, where Gavin Newsom has continuously stepped on his own foot, so his presidential chances are pretty much dead now.
He ain't gonna be
Congratulations to
president.
you,
What
you
do you?
lizard man.
No one. I don't think he would have won anyway. Honestly, I think left coast identity politics and stuff is really out. Everyone here in the mayoral race in New York is saying that they're not about identity politics. There are very, very few people singing DEI and diversity songs, except, of course, our insane fucking mayor. Like, I saw reports that supposedly shit's jumping off here in New York, but I couldn't find any verification. The problem with New York is that the city's been here a long time. There have been cameras for like 25 years that have been 20 years that have been fairly decent on the phone. And, it's like when I looked at the reports, like rioting in New York, it was like, I'm looking and it's like, the World Bank sucks was the signs. It's like, yeah, okay. And people were dressed for the dead of winter. So far, no fruit in the New York in flame stuff. I really hope not.
Well, hopefully not, but as
We're
far as
not
this
really
media not
known for
reporting
that.
it,
Listen, we're not really known for that. And when people show up and act confrontational time after time when they've been apprehended, they have not been New Yorkers. The people at Columbia were not Columbia students, and they were not student age, and they were not from New York. And what happens is every bad idea, and I've said this to you before, but I don't know if I've ever said it here, but every bad idea gets a little bit of a world tour, a little bit of a U.S. tour, right? If it's a really terrible idea, like whose flag should fly over what part of the Middle East, it gets a world tour, right? Like Greta Thunberg's on the world tour. That one, she's like whatever, she's the opening act. So like that could play out here at any time, and there's been like moments where those groups wanted to get at each other, where the NYPD just swept in and arrested everyone. I think that it was very possible that the character of Manhattan may prevent us from having a large scale outbreak. But I mean, if someone wants to federalize the National Guard, there's not much that can be done about it.
don't give a shit as long as I don't have to see your naked ass cartwheeling down the road going, yeah, yeah, I like it in the ass. So you saw Seattle
Is
Pride.
addressing Pride Month? Okay. Don't worry, you won't see that from me. I've got no pride in the name of love. I'm ashamed to say this, but I was married to a woman. I guess that means I can't run for office, Germ. Although it
Well,
didn't
around
work
here, that
out, she would be happy to probably say that I was gay. She would probably say almost anything.
yeah, they do tend to get a little vindictive afterwards.
I gotta be honest. This many years later, maybe she doesn't even care. Like, if I gotta tell you this, she could say anything. I'd just be like, "Well, whatever."
I hope they don't remember me this many years later. But I believe Gorilla is quoting exactly what happened at Seattle Pride. They do a lot of weird shit at Seattle Pride.
I may have seen some video that more or less corresponds in that, especially if the guy was sort of old.
Yeah, it's never the younger ones. It's the like 50-plus-year-old, way over the hill, overly happy to be there.
Because that's the age where, like, you think that you can still do drugs like you used to, but you can't.
It
Been
has to be
taking it
something.
easy till Pride Day, and you just partied like you were 20 again.
Last year we had a freaking fleet of those people naked on bicycles trying to hand out candy and whatnot to children.
The nudity is much. It's a little much. I don't think that's allowed in New York. Equally cringe shirtless. Well, half as cringe shirtlessness is big with them. But I mean, this is not a parade that I go to. I see it in the paper. It's also not a parade that I'm against. Like, I don't care. The New York one is so old and fairly well regulated, and tries to, I guess, be an example. Because remember, it's like the granddaddy parade of that shit. Although, I mean, Gorilla does live in the number 3 gayest city in all of America. I'm sorry, gayest
Yeah.
city in all of America.
Yeah, Minneapolis is up there for the rainbow type crap.
Because it's so many airlines have a major hub there, and they convince their people to live there because the housing is cheap, and they can live there on airline wages. And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's not so bad here. It's like minus 70," and they're like, "Oh yeah, I live right near where I work, so I'm never here anyway." It's like, yeah, if you're not there much, it's okay, I guess. But that's how you got so many gay people. It's like those. I have yet to meet a male steward of any flight that I thought was, in danger of being straight.
Yeah, not a lot of them.
Honestly, that might be the straight man's like way to just get nonstop laid. Like, think of the frustration of those women.
Yeah, it would be convenient. I'm in the country. I'm in the country.
Your county is trying to join South Dakota. Well, good luck with that. I just saw what do you call it? I just saw we both of us just watched Yellowstone 1923, and the worst story starts in South Dakota. I don't know. If you want to end up having a Tiona rainwater like tale, I mean, I guess go start in South Dakota. What a terrible fucking story, huh?
Yeah, that was pointless at the best of times.
If the end had made sense, it still might have been boring, but it would have had a point. But they decided the end had to make no sense. Like you said, something went wrong in production, and the end made no sense at all. It was just crazy bullshit. And like why she was allowed to go after killing one of the 3 marshals that was chasing her. Let alone the problem was that was the one marshal who kept saying the right thing too.
Yeah. Well, that's why he had to go. And hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim. You know what? I don't. Did he have to go? You know
So
what I mean?
Tiona
Like,
could.
but the thing is, if they knew that he wasn't, if they knew that there was going to be a problem, like, why filter? Like, if this was somehow a mistake, and we have, it seems to be, but it might have been a mistake that was like in the writing rather than the filming. I don't know. Like, the way that that guy is the one who says 3 correct things in a row. Well, we're not a judge. It doesn't matter. She's wanted for 7 murders. But we're sworn law officers. Then he's dead. And they're like, they take it to a judge. They don't bother offering up the proof that, yeah, we saw her kill 1 person. So who knows about the 10 we didn't see? She's good for, in the eyes of those marshals, the only one is the other guardian who magically figures out everything. But as far as, without the magical explanation, we have a trail of 11 bodies ending with her being missing. And then she shows 10 bodies that ends with her being missing. Then she tries to snipe one of us. Then she gets one of the other ones. And the other 2 are like, she's all right. We'll just cover up what she did to our pal.
Yeah, that's the part that really was the trouble with that storyline.
If he had been like, we should kill her and tried to like blow her away against orders, it would have been less bad. Everything about it was poorly considered and bad. It was like they're like, okay, well, let's just film this part and we'll figure out what to do next. And they're like, okay, in the courtroom, just don't say anything. People won't notice. They hate the story anyway. And it's like, dude, what was the point of all this except to extend the runtime? Like, we could eliminate the Tiona story completely. There's no relation to the rest.
Yeah. Oh, you actually been to South Dakota, Tim? Sorry? There's nothing in South Dakota.
We liked Marshall Kent. He was from South Dakota. We liked seeing him get deleted.
No more hail. We've had enough for one day. Yeah, I guess with the storms they're having, Gorilla, you have golf balls size hail falling down at the very minimum.
Damn. It rained here pretty hard. It's rained every day for about 15 days for at least part of the day. I feel like I live in fucking England. It's starting to look like the Blade Runner world. Everywhere I go, it's only always and ever cold and rainy. It's been 58 degrees, windy and rainy for like 15 days. We went from 85 degrees, 88 degrees every day to this, and I'm back to my leather jacket.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It's
I
not the
think the
first
last day we
June.
had real rain here was maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I have to remember who I'm complaining to.
We used to get a lot of rain during the summer, but I don't know, the last 10, 15 years, nice and sunny.
My friend Al
Almost to a
Gore
point of a
has
drought.
my friend Al Gore takes care of that stuff.
Yeah. We get nice typical summers here now. The spring, fall, and winter, yeah, might as well be no sun, but at least the summer, nice and bright.
I guess I just what am I going to say? Summer in New York is fairly idyllic. It's definitively what you think of as summer. I guess especially if you're me, but yes.
Nickel size today, so Grills had a bit of a mercy on that.
Summer in the Midwest, I hated. I hated summer in the Midwest, and I hated summer in Florida. I think winter in the Midwest may well be worse, but I hated summer in the Midwest. It was humid. The mosquitoes were as big as my thumb. I saw them carry off someone's child.
You sure that wasn't Florida?
You know, there's something to be said about Florida where mosquitoes don't die and it's not seasonal. And also spiders, where you have like multi-year spiders. Like in New York, maybe a spider survives to a second year of its life because it lives in a building, but for the most part, you don't see ginormous spiders. They get 15, 20 weeks to live and then they're done.
Yeah, that's about what they should live.
That's, by the way, I
But
think that we should, if we could export winter everywhere for a little while, everyone would be better off. Imagine if just like that, all the bugs just died.
oh, that'd be great.
Well, I mean, we get that every, like, I don't know, sometime between Halloween and like the 15th of November, it just gets cold enough to kill them all. First frost, all dead.
Very nice.
It's great stuff. It's great stuff, Jerem. It's great stuff.
Unfortunately, we don't get frost like that over here. And, well, Florida isn't fit for human habitation.
You know,
I don't know why people are there.
Track its population. It goes up through the roof in 1970 with the like improvement of HVAC and indoor like cooling technology. But yes, you're right. And the other thing about Florida that I find just absolutely explains it all is that if I go somewhere and write a check and it's bad and I drive away with a car, I got to bring it back eventually or it's car theft. But as far as the fraud, like that's just one of those things in Florida. Also, if I've burned people outside of Florida and then I go to Florida, that's just one of those things in Florida. Also, if I don't want to pay my child support and I'm not from Florida, but I moved to Florida, well, I mean, that's just one of those things. That's why people live there. Yep, that's right, Tib. Texas, Florida, and
Yeah.
Pennsylvania have a you don't have to pay anyone your debts unless they're from your same state law.
Yeah, the entire world's ecosystem would collapse, Gorilla, but at least we'd be rid of the damn bugs.
I'm just saying if we could export, like have winter roll through like an event, like a 2-day event through every part of like Florida. Like for instance, for like a couple of days, it just moves down the Florida Peninsula. It's winter in 2 days, progressively moving down like a day at a time. I think that would be
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, just
December 23rd to 25th, just have a little Christmas.
to the point where the bugs are gone, but they can still come back. But it's to the
In a few
point
more
where
weeks. Yeah.
yeah, they get beat down to the point where they never become a real problem.
Right. This is not radiation. This is cold. They just die. Because the other solution would be, I mean, I suppose we could airburst a bunch of nukes above Florida so that we could get all the bugs like that. But I mean, the ones that survive will be woo.
We don't know. We don't want to nuke Florida. Anything that survives that, we're getting Godzilla climbing out of that.
What you mean, Methzilla?
Yeah, instead of atomic flame, it'll be methadone flame. You'd just breathe and everybody would get high.
I'm just picturing the meth cone like that comes out of his mouth. Like, it's like it hits a tank, and then like you just see the guys inside the tank, and like their eyes just roll up. They're like, and like they start scratching.
If no one wants Florida man to mutate.
Oh my God, no. Although I think Trip is going to mutate in an episode that we're skipping in the Zindi arc. We're going to slow down for a while and let everyone get taken over by parasites that make them live the life of a former alien, because we've never done that before.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad episodes in that arc.
We're going to throw 2 terrible fucking episodes that didn't work before together because they were mildly interesting and because they were cheap.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I think they overinvested in some episodes, and when they came to the back end, they realized they didn't have the money to finish properly.
I think the budget got cut again, is what it is. The budget got cut after season 1, and I think they thought they could play games with the sets they had by having a lot of the cast not be in a lot of the episodes, so they don't pay like 1 minute more overtime and like cutting down like so that this way they would still have extras and stuff like that and have the ship look sort of full. Then by the middle of the season, it's wearing thin, and they start talking about how few people were actually on the ship for the first time. Oh yeah, no, we watched that one. That's like episode 4 of season 1.
Yeah, that's the first half of the
What is
first
it called?
season.
What is that one called? Unexpected.
Yeah,
In Unexpected, he does bath salts with an alien and wakes up pregnant.
Yeah, I think at that time they didn't really know what they wanted Trip to be. They thought they needed a Lothario like Kirk or Riker on the show, but that was well past the time of needing that in Star Trek.
I think they wanted, like, I always call it a Forrest Hump kind of character. It's like the women want to fuck him, but he's not like intellectually intimidating. At the same time, it's a Star Trek show, so they give him like this Scotty power, but it's like sort of comes to him naturally without any hint of actual intelligence. He never seems like he's smart.
Yeah, he's a tinkerer. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
happens to
I
get it
get
right.
that warp core going, warp 5 for you, Captain. Kind of like your cousin says, "Oh yeah, I can make this sucker hit the 88 miles an hour just like in the movie."
Yeah, unfortunately, like Tripp's nitrous injector and roll is not as good as his ability to roll call. But I think we all owe him one for putting the Trump Vance bumper sticker and the Dark MAGA bumper stickers on the back of the NX-01.
Yeah, that's a good touch.
We know that Tripp is Dark MAGA. We've seen it all throughout the run of the show. And I still think that one of the biggest things we lost out on was we should have had Tripp cleaning his phase pistol.
Yeah, they should have really lent into the whole redneck thing.
Hey!
Hey, lemon.
Yes, you can say the word. Don't call us by the name of the other platform.
Yeah, they would have done very well to lean into the redneck, angry redneck angle for Trip
It
in
would have
that
given him a little more
third
than
season.
just the. Yeah, he's like. All of a sudden, he's imbued with a little more overt intelligence, like, than he's put on display before. I mean, not that he can't fix the ship, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, being a little. Like, we had one episode where the captain got kidnapped, and Tripp's reaction was to launch one of the most devastating air raids this side of the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
There's no way there weren't collateral casualties.
yeah. Unfortunately, mostly through the New York, he's a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, he's turned into a proto bolt. He's proto Boltar. He's proto
Yeah,
Boltar. He Instead of dreaming about his girlfriend, it's his sister, but it's still a blonde woman. And she morphs in age from like 16 to 30 when you see her, just like Trip, who's sometimes 16 and sometimes 30, and is just wearing clothes that you could get at J. Crew in 2002. It looks like they took Quark's clothes and gave them to Trip in the
yeah.
dream
That
sequences.
I never really got that during the early 2000s. Everything quote unquote sci-fi looking was Hot Topic.
It was and Hot Topic at that point was like, for some very weird reason, relitigating the good but over the top part of 1989. It didn't make sense.
Well, Hot Topic never really made sense.
No, it doesn't.
That's sort of the weirdo kid or the goth kid's store.
This was like obnoxious loud surf gear. This may have been from like an early Pac Sun then. I don't know if you
Yeah,
have Pacific Sun.
we had those over here. They're mainly a video store.
I think they're finally gone now, but here it was mostly a clothing and accessory store. Video was over by the time they took hold, though.
Yeah, Pac Sun over here was kind of like an entertainment version of Hot Topic. They'd have these
Yeah.
weird little knickknacks and a lot of videos.
A lot of really cool silkscreen t-shirts, a lot of really cool accessories and belts and shoes, but not like real stuff, like not like clothing. Maybe shirts, but not.
Yeah,
They may have had some overpriced jeans. I don't know.
as always, like is merch tie-ins for a lot of the videos because they had.
They,
I remember there for a while there they were pushing these Hawaiian shirts that had a lot of the like Spawn and other
I remember that. They
off-brand
also
comic stars on
they,
it.
that's later on, like in like 2010s. But yes, they start selling like Hawaiian shirts of Black Sabbath album and Run DMC album covers too. It's bizarre. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I never got the. Those things would never sell.
I like both acts, and I would buy like a Run DMC or a Black Sabbath T-shirt. But like, I'm standing in the store and I see this like weird somewhere between Versace and like, I don't know, like a bowling shirt version of a Black Sabbath album cover, and it was just really weird. And it was just like, for a minute you're like, oh cool, and you're like, wait a minute, where would I ever wear this?
Well, they're just so tacky looking most of the time. like fake silk, and you got a badly drawn copy of Spawn or Sandman or some other character from Dark Horse or Image Comics splayed all over it. And they just didn't look good, and they were expensive as hell too.
Or right because of the rights.
$45.
Because of the rights. Yep. Hey, what's
Ham
going
hands.
on, ham hands?
Hey, hopefully they got everything fucking figured out now.
Did you pork yourself with your ham hand?
Oh no! This stems from trolling of a fucking team of Forrest Gump in my comment sections.
Oh, I mean that's going to happen. Yeah, we all get Temu Forrest Gumps. Have you tried subscriber mode?
No, it's a comment on a short.
Oh,
He said I needed to lay off the cola. By the looks of my hands, I needed to lay off the cola there. Then I didn't. So I just had I had my sister comment back. She just sent him a middle finger and goes, "Oh, you can't handle criticism." I was like, "No, just insulting people there is just a sign of low intelligence." There, calling the
he
kettle
wasn't.
black, aren't you, ham hands?
Okay, so that's. I thought that maybe because you know what, like people can tell whether or not you're going to have a heart attack from looking at your hands.
Oh, this is just a team of Forrest Gump there, just fucking. Yeah, he has nothing better to do than go around to people's comments and insult them.
I know people like that. What I love is you did something I do all the time, like when you go to your intellectual put down and then you yourself screw it up. I do that every time.
I don't know. I just turned around and just changed my name there just to troll him, calling it myself Girl Ham Hands thoughts for a
Go for it.
week. For a week, I did it for about a week now. That was enough.
What next? Bacon bits?
Now it's back to random for now. Until I constantly get censored again.
So, do you live anywhere near Minneapolis, St. Paul, or you never see members of, quote, the community, or is it all over Minneapolis and Minnesota?
Well, you keep pronouncing it wrong. I am 150 some miles from Murderapolis.
Sorry, yeah, Murderapolis. How about Ain't Paul?
That's further away.
There goes Germ. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this happens on live streams. Germ's Wi-Fi was acting a little weird before. He's got some computer issues. He will be returning to us in a moment, but you know, for now, I guess I would just say, how about them? How about them twins? How are they doing?
I don't really watch much sports.
Oh, okay. So anyway, hey, politics, 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 corruption. It goes from the Senate all the way up to the emperor. Boy, when you die at the palace, you really, really die at the palace. Hey,
Okay.
it's resolute Germ. You fell. It can't be you. It's Germ the White.
Very annoying that's happening.
Is there any way to hook right into your router?
Well,
No.
that doesn't help when his Asian neighbors keep stripping the copper out of the walls.
Is this
Oh
true,
no,
Germ?
the Asians are better than that. It's the Mexicans you have to worry about.
Oh.
Yeah, at least they're
They
Very
not.
call the cops at all points of time, complaining about every which thing.
Yeah.
See, I don't know why we need a wall when we have an Air Force.
Hey,
We could drop ordnance on that border all week.
hey, you gotta slow them down and get them stationary for easier targeting.
I don't know about that. I'm just saying, like, if we continuously bomb the border or use my idea of having drones continuously fire machine gun fire down at the border from altitude so that no one could cross it, we wouldn't have to worry about this and we wouldn't need a wall. But, you know, if we can't do that, whatever.
The wall's okay for now. Then later, that wall has a nice convenient door for us to start marching south until we see penguins and bring all of the Americas into compliance.
Well, I mean, until it's Earthica, the job's not done.
Yeah, be the United States of Earth.
We'll all be Earthicans, like in Futurama.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Gorilla, you saying you're having some pretty bad weather up there?
Well, it's all cleared out now. It's all moved off. That was around my third break today. The problem we have around here is nobody. They never bury the fucking power lines around here. We go through this every summer and every winter. That the power lines get knocked down, and all they do is go put them right back up instead of just burying them.
Yeah, they have that same stupid philosophy over here too. We have the cable lines buried, but
No,
the
we bury
power lines.
We bury everything else. Our gas lines are buried. Our water lines are buried. Our sewer lines are buried. Our oil pipelines are buried. Power lines, fuck it. They'll be fine.
I've read about this. We buried our power lines because there's economic opportunity here, and we can't have it cut off, right? So we need the power. And here's the thing: we have like a huge law against like the utility failing to provide power. So that's why they buried the power lines, right? So really, my extrapolation is in most places that don't bury the power lines because there's not a lot of opportunity there. So they got to keep people working, trimming, and rebuilding them all the time so that they have a phantom economy. It's sort of like welfare, but for red states.
Now
I know
explain my
most-
blue state.
Yeah. Most red states.
I don't know. I mean, there
Idaho
probably are a
has-
bunch of blue states that do it, but we don't. I mean, it's possible to bury the power lines. We did it.
California don't. Why do you think they're on fire half the time?
Yeah, no one
Well,
on
I
the
mean,
West
I
Coast
think
does.
that they need to have transformers to blow up and burn and cause fires, or their economy will fall apart too. A lot of California is just part-time seasonal forest fire workers. They throw a forest fire from like Memorial Day till around Thanksgiving every year. They're overdue for their fire this year.
I don't think there's a lot left to burn down there.
Listen, I'm sorry about what happened in LA. I'm not even referring to that. That was a different thing. But they've had a few huge forest fires. And they have said for the last few years that because of permanent climate change, and they said it without any hesitation, they're going to have forest fires all summer, every summer, forever.
Yeah, they say the same thing up here. And meanwhile, they haven't done any real land management since 1974.
Well, I mean, but promises kept. I mean, if you do good forest management, I guess that's just more workfare for a state with very little opportunity. You notice New York State doesn't have forest fires.
Does New York even have a forest?
We have 80% forest, maybe more, old growth pine forests. New York was considered a jungle when the Brits got here.
Yeah, it's what you considered old growth now. Back in the early 19th century, it was clear cut. But you had about 200 years now to build it back up.
I got to be honest, I don't know that we clear cut New York State that much because here's the deal. Our river is so long and so incredibly powerful. I mean, I'm talking power. This thing's 2 miles across and it's like it moves at like 3,000 or 4,000 miles an hour, the river. It's insane. But you have to have a plane land on it to land on it. Boats can't travel on it. But because of that, they're able to get up the river and down the river and, just like send logs down the river. I think they clear cut out from the river is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
There's
generally where they start from.
To be honest with you, clear cutting these mountains would have been a drag. You know what I mean? Like there are plains further up the river.
Well, yeah, we clear cut mountains here too. It's
I'm saying
Not
we
very cost
probably didn't.
efficient.
I don't think we clear cut the mountains. I think we have enough like river valley to cut and just manage. Like New York does forest management. What can I tell you? Like it's a thing, guys. We lost Gorilla. What the hell's going on?
I guess Gorilla's weather. Oh, there he goes.
No, it's this monitor. If I don't move my mouse constantly, it turns off.
Yeah, that's a bitch sometimes. Every time I'm like watching something on here, even now I have to jiggle the mouse every 3 or 5 minutes.
Oh, it's not when if I'm watching something like on YouTube or on Look Movie, not a problem. But like right now, I'm not running like YouTube or anything. It's just StreamYards and Snapchat.
Oh, Gorilla's still on Snapchat?
Yeah, Gorilla. You know what the deal is? If you have YouTube on, it overrides your browser closing down.
Yeah.
It knows the code. By the way,
it knew the code for me. But even when I'm watching, I'm doing anything on this laptop. If I'm not jiggling the mouse every few minutes, it wants to close down.
It's not a problem for me when I'm a host. It's a problem for me when I'm a guest.
I've never noticed the difference on that.
When I'm a host, I'm always using my mouse and introducing stuff so time doesn't go by enough for it to close down. There's been 1 or 2 times when the screen went blank and I was like, ah! But then like my reaction was to like jiggle the mouse while I like moved my hand in horror, you know, like, and the screen came back and it took me like twice to figure it out.
Yeah. Surprisingly though, it closes down the screen, but everything keeps running. Because when I'm on stream sometimes, I turn my back for a second and you and JT and Sean are talking. I turn back, the screen is blank, but everything is still coming through. And I just jiggle the mouse, everything's there.
That's what mine normally does. It's got to press something on the thing.
I would say turn your idle time up a little higher if it's a consistent problem.
It's supposed to be turned off. It's not supposed to go to sleep on its own. But I don't know if it keeps wanting to reset the time or something, but this is about 6-year-old computer. It's probably about time to upgrade.
My 6-year-old laptop works like fucking.
Yeah, this was like $800, $1,000 back in 2020, 2019, something like that.
Yeah, mine was like $1,200, but it was on sale for like $8, so I jumped on it. The most important thing I think I have as a YouTuber is I only use my streaming and editing computer for streaming and editing, and I do all my dicking around on a laptop.
Yeah, it's always good. I have the cell phone and the little tablet that I use everything else for.
I also just for the first time ever bought one of those tools that you use to blow the dust off your computer and out of the inside of it. Wow. That was a really therapeutic half hour of cleaning the computer. It felt so good. I felt like a different human being when it was done. You know the deal.
Oh, that's just the chemicals in it. Give me a damn good buzz.
No, I didn't buy the canned air. I bought the handheld vacuum. So when I tried to catch a buzz off of it, I didn't. It sucked. I was a little let down. I tried a few times, but it was just air.
Yeah, I think the vacuum works a little better than the canned air. I've tried the canned air on some of the stuff before. It seems to leave a bit of a film.
I don't want to you to have the same problem as Tony. This is my tool.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the dust on my desk right now. That's a pretty cool effect. I'm going to use that more often. Like I'm
Oh,
J.J.
yeah.
Abrams.
Okay, Jar Jar.
I said it too. Yeah, I'll admit that one.
And that is a more effective lens flare than JJ's.
Isn't that sad?
Well, we always whenever we have the lens flare on freaking Walton's Mountain there, we have a couple of us, and that lens flare would bring a tear to J.J. Abrams there.
I think the ultimate watch party idea would be Lost with Pleasant Valley Picker. Wasn't it him trying to augur it all out? I just lie to him. So oh no, it all made sense at the end. Just got to follow the story.
I don't know if he even knows what Lost is.
We could totally put one over on him.
Yeah. All I know is I'm gonna have a fun time with. You should look up the description for season 5, episode 5 of the Waltons. There, you're gonna have a fun one with that one because I don't know how picky the YouTube censors are gonna be.
Is this a grandma and grandpa, amorous grandma and grandpa episode or something?
I'll put it this way: John Boy wants to print excerpts from a certain book from Germany's, and that was written in Germany in 1936 by a certain German leader there. And
was he born in Austria?
Flag all over they have a certain symbol.
Yes, he was.
In context, I think you're allowed to have the flag, which won't be shown, right? Do you have a slideshow on this one?
Yeah, but they show that in the symbol all over the episode.
Yeah, you know what? Choose your slides carefully.
Yeah.
You've had some of the wrong people who strike channels to get off hanging around in your chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a thing. Well, at least you're going to be able to keep down the actual playing time. That's usually the problem.
No, mine usually get copyright claimed.
You know what, Gorilla? I think what you should do is just make your slides and just put like a Democratic Party flag over it or whoever you don't like this week.
No,
Major League Baseball.
Yeah, my issue is I go straight from the source though, because I'm not exactly sure how to go about making slides. And that
just
would
watch it on your.
probably get me taken down because someone I know exactly who would report it too.
Just here's how you make slides. Watch it on your computer. Pause it. Hit snipping tool. Make the slide.
Sounds like 5 hours worth of work.
You only need one every 10 minutes or every time they change seeds. Like, that was the problem, like, RIP, but like, what was it? What else here? Pop Culture Curator had the Gilligan's Island show, right?
Yeah.
And for the longest time, he was attacking and screaming and yelling at his guests for making him take too long. So he did it by himself, and it took even longer because the problem was he was talking for 2 and 3 minutes about a slide every 5 seconds. So his half-hour review with 1 minute every 5 seconds, that's 20 slides and 1 minute, so 20 minutes to 1. So it was a 600-minute Gilligan's Island review, no matter how he sliced it, because he was just like, he spoke for a couple of minutes, but every slide, like it was only 5 seconds later.
We managed to cut ours down way a lot, and we managed to be able to keep everybody on track more and more easily now.
Your channel, do what you want, but that sounds to me like a dangerous game to play, my man.
Personally, what I would do is like watch it through, then watch it through again and choose like 3 or 4 10-second clips that you want to show. And
5.
Yeah, 5 seconds. 5 or 10 second, but you get away with a lot more, so you can push it a little bit more.
Yeah, well, the
On a
older
live
shows,
stream, yeah, you'll get
the
claims
older
later.
shows, and as long as you're not just dumping on it to dump on it, there you can get away with a lot more. Uh,
Yeah, there's somewhat more understanding if you're doing.
yeah,
I don't
guess
know. I mean, with New Waltons debuting this spring, I don't know if it's going to work.
no, they've been. I get copyrighted every week, but 99% of the time I win the copyright fight.
I'm just saying, there's a New Waltons coming out starting this year. It takes place in Detroit. They're all black.
Go figure.
What can I tell you? ABC this fall. Eddie Murphy stars as Grandpa.
I thought Eddie Murphy was dead.
Not only is Eddie Murphy not dead, but he just produced what's going to be the wealthiest kid ever, right? Because his son married Martin Lawrence's daughter.
Okay. God, you're just keep bouncing in and out.
It happened before the show. I guess we should keep it going for him. I guess what Germ would want us to tell you most is he's one of the most satisfied people in all of Washington State with the government. There's someone there named Patty Murray that he has just effusive in the praise of. Germ, welcome back.
Jerry, you want me
Just
to
buying
play
you
it
some
for you? Oh, you didn't even hear me.
Germ's like, how do I kill
Great,
T through the computer?
Jerry wants me to play this for you, T.
I'm a Jew in Nazi-occupied Europe. Fuck you. Fuck the.
I must have missed something real good.
Oh, just your.
Oh,
your
while
love
you were
for-
gone,
just
the
your love
joke-
for your governor. How you just want to
Yeah,
get down
I-
on the knees there.
it's a senator.
Oh, senator.
I brought up that you're one of the most satisfied people in America, lucky enough to live in a town where you totally agree with the government, and that you're a big fan of that Patty Murray guy. I know that you always have always there commenting on their ex.
Yeah, unfortunately, half the time it has to get deleted. Not fit for public view or slanderous, foul language.
Likening him
all
to an
other sorts of
animal.
things. Oh no, I wouldn't do that to an animal. I like her to much worse things. Certain female body parts.
Jerb, did you just rewatch the first 10 minutes of American Sniper over and over because it got you fucking going?
And she's been the senator here since I was in grade school. So I've had a long time to build up a nice, strong hate for her.
She's your Schumer.
Yeah.
The way I feel sort of about Charles Schumer.
Except I wouldn't break if I saw her crossing the street.
Don't you mean Chucky Erection Schumer?
I don't know what to make of him. He has been the worst leader ever. I mean, since it's obvious that the country looks to New York for leadership with the Senate and and the presidency and so many Supreme Court judges all from New York. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, when 1 in 10 Americans lives within an hour of Manhattan, it's going to happen. We just have a lot of people here, but it's been obvious that people look to us for leadership.
Yeah. Isn't like AOC moving the unseat Schumer?
They want to remove him from leadership, and I think he will get primaried, and he would be best advised to just be like, you know what, it's been a good 55 years of doing nothing. I'm gonna go do nothing now full time. On my retirement pay.
It's time for him to go. He's just a little too weaselly, even among a house of weasels.
Here's the problem. He's failing us all because even though we don't want him, say, antagonizing and going after Trump, which is the tax he took, by the way, Even though we want him resisting Trump, we don't want him attacking and antagonizing him and refusing to deal with him. We want him acting like a normal opposition leader and being like, look, we're not too happy about this, but we got here because we didn't listen. So this guy won. We're going to sit down and we're going to try to, hash out a deal with him on some of these things. He has a lot of ideas that we don't like. So if we have a say in them, maybe we could nerf it a little bit and make everybody, these things happen. The people spoke, but maybe we could have our fingerprints on the change. But no.
No, that type of politics doesn't exist anymore.
No. I mean, what sucks is I remember it. I remember like 3 or 4 straight elections where it was like, my guy's good, but if the other person wins, they're okay too. Now it's like, my guy's a fucking disaster, and if the other person wins, they're fucking worse.
Yep, that's what happens at the late stage of democracy.
Actually, I'll put it more like this. I don't have a guy, and they're both disasters, and I don't want to vote in this particular race. I'll look down ballot and see if there's anything else. The commie has had a lot more and a lot better stuff and press and a lot more word of mouth, a lot more people knocking on doors than Cuomo or Adams, who are both deeply hated. Look for Moscow on the Hudson to become a reality.
Well, if that happens, just know there is no place for you to go.
Why would I leave a place with $30? Why would I leave a place with $30 minimum wage?
Well, we got high minimum wage too. It's the unfortunate thing is that every time they bump up the minimum wage, the cost of everything goes up a very similar amount.
No. The minimum wage here is $15. This guy wants to make it 30. Think about that. Teachers get 60.
Yeah.
Cops get 60.
I hope you enjoy $12 gallons of milk.
That's probably coming anyway. I feel the one thing about this whole problem in LA is that we've had it stated over and over and over that we are in disorder and in collapse and on the brink of civil war, and that we are in disorder and in collapse and on the brink of civil war. And it's been said many, many, many times by the president, who is just, maybe he gets these things and maybe they're right, but saying out loud for the whole world to see that it was a crime to run for governor and the person will be thrown in jail. I mean, it's going to have a knock-on effect on the dollar, whether people approve of it or not. And I take no stand on the rhetoric. I just say, now that we have declared that our civilization is in collapse, like, why would our money not go down? We've said it for 3 straight days nonstop. We have overstated how bad this is.
I don't think they're overstating it.
They are, because what you're supposed to say is no.
Pretty bad.
Look, it's overstated if they say anything, but they'll be met with appropriate force, and order will be restored shortly. Saying anything other than that is insane. You're just encouraged. It's like, we can barely hold on to the city. That's just going to bring more problems. Violence will be our next step. That's just going to get people to challenge you. Order is on the brink of being restored. It's the only thing. Like, that's the reason why in every situation, every politician says it. It's like, sometimes you have no choice. For instance,
it's better to be honest.
Is it better to be honest? Let me ask you this. 32 football coaches are going to report to minicamp next month. The one who says, we're not here to win the Super Bowl, won't be fired if the owner hears that? I ask you that question. And how will that affect him in the locker room? Even if it's the last place team.
Well, everyone's in first place in minicamp.
I'm saying the Jets' fucking new coach goes in there and goes, guys, we'll win 5 or 6 games. Don't worry about it. He's not fucking supposed to be fired. I mean, the Jets owner won't do it, but that's not grounds for firing on a normal team. Every NFL coach goes in there and says, gentlemen, this year we're winning the Super Bowl. Every year. And it's true until it isn't, right? And then when they can't do it, they go, we failed. And they say it on TV. We failed. Now we're going to try to play spoiler. So sometimes maybe, no, I mean.
People are a little bit too wise to actually believe that sort of line anymore.
we're going to arrest everybody who causes a problem and order will be restored shortly is still allegedly the truth. I mean, isn't that the plan anyway, right?
That's the plan, but it's bad over here on the West Coast. More so than most people in the United States can comprehend.
I saw them
mean-
doing stuff I haven't seen done in New York in 45 years here. There, though. They were fucking blasting people with a lot of pepper spray. Not pepper spray. I saw pepper spray. I saw a lot of not flashbang. I saw a lot of tear gas. So they weren't like they had plenty of those t-shirt launching pneumatic guns from the hockey game. I mean, the LAPD looked fairly serious. I'm not saying that they're able to affect anything, but all reports were much of the city is unaffected. How large could this protest zone be?
It is about 10 blocks, I believe, last time I heard.
Should we pull out the 700 Marines? They're
Not
not
yet.
trained for civilian law enforcement at all.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, out on the entire West Coast, virtual anarchy. You have maybe in the big cities, the downtown area, and not all the downtown area, mind you, just the real pricey ones. Those are in relative good condition. The rest of it,
Right, okay.
like say in Seattle, Soto, you wouldn't tell it between that and some random city in the fucking Philippines.
That bad? All right, listen, I don't pretend to be an expert on the West Coast. I will what's the death toll at this point? This is 5 days of violent, out of control riots with military intervention. What's the death toll?
Less than a dozen in LA.
People have died?
One person's dead in LA.
They had a needle in their arm.
No, they have they're found in the riot zone, but they haven't.
Right, but they were found with a needle in their arm. It was a drug overdose.
I never heard that part, so I couldn't tell you.
I know
That's
one guy
how I
got hit
saw it
by a
report.
car. I assume from what I saw, I assume he died.
I don't think that video is true. It's not been re-reported. I've not seen it anywhere. I think that it was real video from somewhere else of unmarked cars that may not have been in America because it was pretty far away. And the one thing that I noticed about that video is I don't know if anyone saw a better video. They were silhouettes, more or less, the people. So they could have been, like, if everyone there was Surinamese, we wouldn't have known. And also the angle of it, like they were on the only place I've ever seen with no street signs, no advertising, and no visible business signs. So we couldn't tell where in the world it was. There was no way to tell on that video. That was something. Someone got hit by a car somewhere. The video was real, but like, was it really from LA? And is it really now? Because like, I'm here in the middle of like, a burning city that's really in trouble and on fire. And I hear no sirens and there's no unrest. And it's not it's not in any paper. So I know LA that is a big deal, but there is some misinformation.
We have the same thing going on up here. None of the local channels they have no peep whatsoever of what happened yesterday.
The New York Post is owned by Fox News. They'd be they hunt for those stories. If I saved someone from drowning in the river, it would say Queens man condemns man to lifetime of fruitless taxpaying. That's the kind of that they're not a happy paper.
Oh. But eventually it'll all clear up.
That's the only part that really counts.
And I'm gonna have to end it here because this Wi-Fi thing is flashing at me again, so no telling when I'm gonna drop out. Pete, what you got coming up?
Today's Tuesday. I'll be around tomorrow night. Oh, today's Wednesday. I'll be around tomorrow night at like 10:30. You'll probably be there.
Hopefully. Gorilla, what you got?
Well, let's see. Tomorrow we should have 2 more episodes of the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Then we'll have the Waltons review of season 4, episode 24, The Collision on Friday. Sunday is Mystery Movie Night. And then Tuesday, our Cigar Lounge. I don't know what we'll be doing, but I gotta say, last night it was pretty fun with Insurrection Bingo.
I like the Sarah Connor Chronicles. It's Lena Headey, right? From 300.
Hell if I know.
It's I think it's the Queen from 300 is Sarah Connor. Because Dark Angel's Jessica Alba,
Might
right?
be right. Yeah, Dark Angel's Jessica Alba.
So then Terminator Dark Fate, Terminator TV show chick, the Sarah Connor TV show chick is Lena Headey. Or something close to that.
Yeah, you're right, Linda Headey.
She's the Spartan Queen in 300. She's the one who stabs that dude who does all the very controversial things, sir.
But we'll be back on Monday for the monster movie watch party, and I will figure out something to do instead of the Saturday morning cartoons. But my schedule has changed, and that will not be coming back, at least at that time frame.
Oh, no more Saturday morning cartoons?
Bummer.
No. Yeah, my schedule's changed, so I am busy in the mornings on Saturday.
Okay.
Good run. How many years?
I think about 4 years for the most part.
Long may you run. Congratulations, my man.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.